Back, True Seeker. Want to take a moment to answer Austin Roberts' question. He asked what I think about atheism and if I think science disproves the existence of God. So, atheism. To me, it is a religion in itself because it is a belief that there is no God, which is something that nobody could prove. So you have to choose to believe that. It's a simple religion. The religion is based on the belief that there is no God. And most atheists have a scientific point of view, just like this young man. That's why he goes to, well, don't you think science disproves God? And you have to understand, science, as we get it through the education system, is designed to make young people purposefully believe that there is no God, to abandon spirituality and to trust in mankind and the authority, which is also the purpose of religion. It's a this or that type of thing. And look, what we are told in science in schools is oftentimes a lie. That's why science is going back and forth and changing so much. For people who don't know, Piltdown Man was taught as the original proof of evolution for 41 years in academia. For 41 years, Piltdown Man was taught, and today classrooms don't touch this subject. They act like it never happened. If you don't know about Piltdown Man, look it up. Piltdown Man was taught as proof of evolution, and it was also taught as proof that the white race was superior to all other races and the original people on this earth were white. Piltdown is in the United Kingdom, where a contrived skeleton was created with a huge skull, which was to argue that, the original white man had a giant brain. This lie was taught for 41 years. People went to college and paid tuition to learn about Piltdown Man. And it is no coincidence that the Piltdown Man lie was taught for 41 years. In gematria, Piltdown equals 41. Notice Piltdown also equals 113, which is the number of deception that comes from the Talmud. In the Talmud, Bava Kama 113a says it's okay for somebody who's Jewish to lie to somebody who isn't. And if you don't know, the Jewish people, the false Jews, have always been interested in controlling the world. And they've done it with religion, they've done it with government, they've done it with money, they've done it by controlling things such as the education system that gives people their thinking process. Like this young man, he has the thinking process of the education system, which is a system that's meant to dumb him down and make him not be able to think, but to follow and to believe in what he's been told, such as deliberate lies in the classroom. Look at all these words that are 113. Mainstream, dishonest, perverted, not true, not honest, not factual, disinfo, perjury, fiction, bullshit, infidelity, divorce. Again, Bava Kama 113a. Jews may use lies to circumvent Gentiles, which are non-Jews. And there's a whole lot more to this 113 list. Again, one of the biggest lies of all time is the Titanic. If you don't know about the Titanic, it was written about in a book 12 years before it sank. Futility, Wreck of the Titan. It's about the biggest ship ever being built, called the Titan. And on its first sail, while moving too fast, it crashes into an iceberg and sinks. Came out 12 years before the Titanic sank. If you don't know the story of the Titanic, it wasn't actually the Titanic that sank. It was its sister ship, which was already damaged. 3 of the richest men in the world died on the Titanic. The 3 richest men in the world who all opposed the Federal Reserve that was in formation. They were fighting to keep the Federal Reserve from existing. All 3 of those men killed in one night. And the next year, the Federal Reserve established. Consider J.P. Morgan financed those boats, the sister ship and the Titanic. J.P. Morgan was on the Titanic but got off just before it took off because he said he didn't feel well. You think J.P. Morgan knew what was going on? 113, this number has been used to lie to people on purpose, to send them astray. And think about the Titanic. all of us learned that story from a young age. You know, I learned about that story in elementary school, my earliest years, and the same is probably true for you. The lies of our society, they are spoon-fed to us. They are meant to reach us. And the reason why is because the tyrants, they just want to mock us with their control. All the things they've done over the years to control us. And the Titanic is a huge piece of it. The Federal Reserve might have never happened. History might not have gone on a better course if those men weren't on that boat. So understand all of this stuff. You know, controlling the way people think about spirituality and science. They want a this or that society. They want people to choose between two things that they shouldn't have to choose between. They want people to fight over nonsense. The purpose of science is to better understand the world you live in. The purpose of spirituality is to better understand the world you live in. You know? To connect with the world you live in. To be happy. To understand more. You know, science is a journey. It's based on evidence, collecting information, experimenting. Spirituality, it should be the same thing. In this world, it's really rigid. Normally, you're born into a family and they tell you to believe or else. Believe or be shunned out. Believe or be cast astray. You know, it's not supposed to be this way. You know? Honest people will say, honest spiritual people will say, you know, I have these beliefs for this reason. People who say, you know, I'm a Christian, and if you don't believe in Jesus, then you're Satan. These aren't spiritual people. These are people who are into that this or that thinking. You know, they're under mind control. They're getting played by the system. We live in a game. The people who run this world treat it as a game. And they're trying to play us all for fools and play us against each other. And, you know, this young person's thinking, it comes from that system. Science or spirituality. Really, they're two parts of everybody's life that everyone should, you know, work to have understanding in. And I'll also say that I think understanding this code of letters and numbers, Kabbalah, which is an old world spirituality based in the belief that God works through numbers, God works through language. Well, when I first heard that, I thought it sounded ridiculous, you know. But after observing the amazing patterns in people's names and birthdays, you know, reality is stranger than fiction. And out of all of the spiritualities that I've ever been aware of, you know, becoming aware of this Kabbalah and, you know, the undeniable patterns between so many of us with ourselves, our parents, our loved ones, it just seems that, yeah, there absolutely is something real going on here. And I think the existence of God can be proven. And I think this code is that proof, is what I'm saying. So that pretty much answers his questions about atheism and science and spirituality. No, science does not disprove God. Science could never disprove God. And science wasn't made to disprove God, you know. So ask your science teacher if you're still in school about Piltdown Man. What you'll find out about your science teacher is they don't even know what Piltdown Man is. You're looking at somebody that used to teach in the public school system. Most teachers are nothing but lapdogs. You know, they went to school, they do what they're told. Now they go into classrooms and they follow the curriculum that's already designed for them. They're just teaching what they're told to teach, grading the way they're told to grade. And they don't even know much about history or this world themselves. How many physics teachers deny the obvious lie of September 11th? See what I mean? We're not using anything right in this world. We're not using science. We're not using spirituality properly. It's like everything's been turned against us. Everything's just being given to us in a way, so we'll fight over it, you know? All right, Truth Seeker. Gematria Effect tonight, every Wednesday night, 6 to 9 on the West Coast, 9 p.m. to 12, 9 p.m. to midnight on the East Coast. TFR Live. Till next time, Truth Seeker.